after the other. That is strategic plan. And so, when we have a strategic plan for our business, it makes life easier. And we are not just trying to do things by intuition. We know where we are going in the next 5 years. This is what we want to be in the next 5 years. How do we get there? That is what the strategic plan will answer. So you are not going by intuition or by luck, just as things come. No, but you have a layout plan that you follow, and you know who is to do what. You know when are you supposed to achieve what? What resources do you need to achieve that thing, that goal? All these are clearly laid out in the planning. So it's just the cognitive process of thinking about how to achieve certain objectives. You have an objective. You have a business. If it were possible, I will so much like it if people with similar business are together around the same location, because at some point Okay, thank you. So, and I will ask us to discuss some of the points that we are going to raise in relation to our business, to think it out just within 5-10 minutes in the course of this. Maybe at that time we can just migrate to whoever. What are the? I know some people have schools. What other business do we have here? Apart from, sole proprietorship of a school, or of what? Okay. Limited liability. Then any other business? Print media. Okay. We'll see how we can navigate through as we go on. So it involves listing out the concrete steps that you need to accomplish your goals. Then, to draw a good strategic plan, the following questions become imperative. Let's look at those questions. Yes. What exactly do we want to do? That's the first question. What do we want to do? Oh, as this business, this school, we want to grow the population of students. Maybe that's the question. Okay? When should we accomplish it? It's not just everybody will say we want to grow the population of students. Abi? But does that goal, is that goal definite? That goal, we want to grow the population of students in this school. Is that a definite goal? It's not. By what? Because if in the next 5 years, you have additional 1 student, you have grown the population. Am I right? But is that additional 1 increase profitable? No. So it must be definite. Oh, my school has 50 students now. In the next 5 years, where do we want to be? We want to double the population of this school. Oh, we want to triple the population of this school. That's a definite goal. And when to accomplish it, that is next 5 years. You have a target. Okay, how are we to accomplish it? The question of how. How? That is, what are the things that we need to do so that we can accomplish that task? Do we need better billboards or better signposts? Do we need to motivate our teachers? Do we need to change our teaching method? Do we need, what else do we need? We must be able to think out that. Then, what do we need to accomplish it? Okay, if what we need to do is for instance, to change our teaching method, what are the resources that we need? We need PowerPoint, then we need to buy projectors. Am I right? Then, sometimes you buy projectors, your staff does not know how to do it, how to use it. It means we need to train our staff, even how to prepare PowerPoint, how to teach with PowerPoint. What are some of the things that we can teach through PowerPoint to encourage students, and such that even when parents come by to see, or even the students themselves, they will go and tell their friends, if you come to my school, you will see. And that student, that friend, will go and tell the parents, I want to go to my friend's school. And what is it that is happening there? Oh, so. The parents might create interest, and through that, you are gaining more ground. So that is, what do we need to accomplish it? We must understand. Who does what to accomplish the task? That's the last question. Okay, we've known what to do. We know where we want to be. We know what to do. We know when to do it. We know how to accomplish it. Who will accomplish what? The task must be well spelled out. Otherwise, people will not, it will just be when there is nobody that is committed to doing something, somebody you can ask questions, somebody that can be queried if things go wrong, then nobody will do it. So these are the 5 basic questions that are very important if we want to plan strategically for our business. Can we go on? Yes? A strategic planner must be a visionary. If we look at this, must be a visionary. Look to the far future and think of what you want to achieve at that time. A visionary will also think about, okay, even if you are comfortable with what you are, where you are now, what if the environment change? What if there is something else that change? So a strategic planner is a visionary. He's looking forward. What is it that is new there? What is it that I need to do more? How are things changing in my surroundings? And in a way that it can affect my business. I was teaching in a class one day. I said, you see, if you look at Nigerian environment, you see that businesses changes depending on what happens at a particular time. For instance, some people, they made a lot of money in selling recharge card some few years ago. Am I right? If I should ask us here, how many of us buy recharge card? We may be surprised that less than 50% of us. Am I right? Because today you just load your credit on your phone. Link it to your bank. Am I right? And that is the only thing some people were doing some years back. If they are not visionary, then today they are jobless. Am I right? There are some very good mechanics some years back that when they handle your car, you say, this is a witch mechanic. Just turn on your engine and they listen. They will say, this is what is wrong. And they will go there straight and repair it. And everybody was rushing them at that time. But lo and behold, the kind of cars they were doing in the last 10 years, 15 years, is no longer, the technology has changed. Am I right? Many of them are out of business today. And so, a strategic planner is a visionary. You always is always recognizing the fact that the society does not change. I mean, the society does not remain the same. The society constantly change. And once the society changes, it will also affect your business. There were, in fact, people were saying there is no job, there is no job. But I begin to say that, or even many that there are a lot of jobs, but there are no skills to match the job. That's the problem. If you are in the area of marketing, okay, well, you just took a course on digital marketing. But the marketers that were employed some years ago, they were the traditional marketers. Am I right? So, if you are a marketer 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and you are very good in the act of this traditional marketing, you understand what I'm trying to say? Traditional marketing is still useful, but to what extent? That's the big question. So if you are then hired by a company and you cannot update yourself, you are not, then you are out of job today. Am I right? So that is the kind of thing. So strategic planner, they are visionary. They look at the future. They look at both positive and negative, likely positive and negative things that will affect the business now and in the future. So, yes, move on. Next. Okay. Strategic planners are thinkers. They are thinkers. They think. And they are critical thinkers. In their brain, they always think. They are not satisfied with the situation or condition they are. Because every business has competition. Am I right? There are a lot of competitors. When you are making it, know that there are some people who are around trying to spy you to see how is this person making it? What can I do better? Am I right? Because we live in a world of competition. And so, if you now sit down and say, oh, glory be to God. My school, in fact, we are rejecting students. Today we are rejecting students. We have more than enough. So we have arrived. Before you know it, you will go to the street to beg for students. If you are not strategically planning and thinking, always thinking. Look at the pros and cons and what are the things coming up. Yes, move on. So, the aim of strategic planning is to grow an organization with a specific vision that has a definite time band. Strategic plan is not just open. We want this school to have 500 students, and you don't have a time limit. Or maybe your grandchildren will grow it to have 500 children, puppies or students. Am I right? So, there is definite time band. It must, okay. So, that's the question of when. That's how it becomes very important. It is used by businesses to increase their sales. I mean, the sales of their products or services. Okay, yeah. So, increase their market. So, everybody wants to increase their share of the market. And that is the essence of strategic plan. And that is why strategic plan is about growth strategy. Strategic plan is about growth strategy for businesses. How do I grow my business? And what target am I looking at? What is the time band? So that is what strategic plan is about when you are talking of business organization. Yes, next. And there are 4 major growth strategies which I'm going to discuss more one after the other. First thing is market penetration. You want to penetrate the market. The second one is market expansion. The third one is product development. Diversification. Diversification. Market penetration. You want to penetrate the market. Increase your share of the market. In your area, it is not likely going to be your company alone, your organization alone. Am I right? Sir. So, there are so many printers, printing press around. Am I right? So many. And that you want to penetrate that market to increase your share of the market. That is the first strategy. Market expansion. You want to sell your product, your current product and services to new markets or finding new uses for your product. That is, you have one location here, you want to target another location, another market to expand. So for penetration, it's still within the same area. You want to catch more customers. But when you are expanding, you want to move to new ground, break new grounds to get more customers. Then product development. You want to expand your own line of products and services while you are still selling in the same market. Please, sorry ma, what products do you offer?
Drinks, it's the purpose.
Okay.
Drinks,
Okay.
POS, egg.
Okay. So you want to increase your product line. Maybe there is a particular drink that you discover that people in the community are beginning to take interest in. You want to also include that in your product. So to also develop more products. So that is product development. If, for instance, is a school, you want to, it depends on your locality, the area where you are located. You want to see what other thing can I offer to the community. For instance, you can, even to increase your student enrollment, you can decide to do, if you look at the fact that, oh, in this environment, many people need adult education. You can decide to offer it maybe free or even at a cheaper price to gain the heart of people around that area. So, you look at it, and with that, you are increasing your product line that will bring in more people into your diversification, selling new products and services to a new market. You are taking a new product to a new market entirely. That is diversification. Let's look at, this is market penetration. You see that when you are trying to penetrate markets, there are so many strategies that you can use to penetrate the market. If you look at this diagram, you see after sales services, that may be, for instance, when Daddy was citing the example of trying to bring in internet, where parents can check the results. They don't need to come and queue in the office or asking. And once people buy into that, it becomes more, in fact, that alone can be a selling point for your organization. So also, that is like after sales services. I remember I have a car wash in Ife. I've been washing my car in different places, but this day I just went to that car wash and I discovered something, just something that looks so minor. After washing and cleaning and doing everything, you just have this dashboard polish and just help me to spray with very fine scents. The next time I return there, I said, this car wash. They say, how much will just dashboard polish cost? And he could use that one bottle for several cars. You get what I'm trying to say? That's like after sales service. He doesn't need to do it, but he's doing it as strategy for market penetration. So, then price adjustment, sometimes you adjust your price. If you know that I sell at 50 naira, I'm already making profit. Even at 45 naira, I'm already making profit. If I adjust a bit, do you know that 50 kobo can draw a lot of people to your market? You are selling 49 naira, 50 kobo, and others will sell 50 naira. You know our mummies, when they go to the market, they can go from the front of the market to the last shop just because there is 50 naira difference. And you can never know what that will do. 50 here, 50 there, can you see? You are joining it together. It becomes big. So, it becomes something tangible. So, sometimes you may have to adjust your price a little bit in a way that you know it won't affect you. You will still make your profit. You will still be able to pay all the incidentals. So, that's a market penetration strategy. Then increase promotional activities. Maybe you have a very fine signpost. When you get to some barber's shop, it will be as if, let me just sleep here and let me just sit here and rest. Am I right? And what is he doing? Cutting hairs. And so, the sight of the shop alone can even attract. So, therefore, when we are planning our business, you see, the sight of our environment, something that will not cost us so much, something that you can, planting beautiful flowers and having a very nice layout, it can attract customers. Am I right? You have a very good plan out. Your field is looking very green with beautiful flowers. That alone, and it may not cost you so much. And once you do it, it remains there. You are not repeating it all the time. You are only trimming, maintaining it. So it can be a promotional activities. Improving your product. Also, if you are the one producing, for instance, your product, you are teaching students in a school, you can improve your product. You can improve your product by looking for different competitions that we entice people. So, different competitions. You see some schools, they will say they have English language. Their students can also speak French. Have you? So, French, English, and that can be a kind of improving your product, or you are improving yes, your product, something that will attract people. Showcase what you are doing. If you don't showcase yourself, nobody will showcase you. Am I right? So, if you don't say this is the quality we have, nobody will look at your side. So, it's not a pride when you say that this is our product, this is what we are doing, this is what we are able to make. In the last week, all our students passed their exam. It's a selling point. Am I right? So, if your school has been there for a certain number of years, and you even have one or two of them working in high places, you can showcase it. Our product is now, we have some of our products working in energy. Abi? And you showcase that is what we produce leaders. What parents will not like that? You get my point? So these are some of the strategies that we can improve. And then improving technology is also very important. I won't mention, but I was in a school. We were just discussing. I said, this kind of things that we used to teach, today, we need to change it. If a school is still using chalkboard in this century, sir, Amma, you see, it looks somehow. When the world is already moving away from whiteboard marker, from whiteboard, you are still with chalkboard. So that is, you are maybe about 2 generations behind, if care is not taken, because the world is going digital now. So these are some of the things that we need to improve. Okay, next, that's market penetration, how we can penetrate the market. Then market expansion. Can you see we can do market expansion by cooperation with similar business? For instance, if I sell, I'm thinking for a good example. If I sell Coke and somebody else sells 7-Up, are you following me? And where he is, maybe some people also want Coke. Can we cooperate together? Can we cooperate in such a way that my Coke can get to where he is and his 7-Up can get to where I am? Are you following me? So, it's also a strategy. Integration, diversification, internationalization, that is going beyond local. Today is the day of digital. We can even showcase some of our activities on Facebook, on social media, YouTube. When you have a very nice and excellent session, maybe there is this teacher who would teach in such a way that students will, that everybody will like it. You understand? You can record a session and post it on YouTube, on Facebook. People around can see it. You know, it's going even beyond your locality. So, it depends on your vision. So, expansion strategy can include any of these. Can we move on, please? Then, product development. You can see product development, invest in market research. Sometimes you need to do research. Some people don't like complain. but a strategic planner is interested in complaints. I told somebody, I said, if you are a fashion designer and you hate people complaining about your work, you cannot progress. You cannot make it. So also every other business. Please, it is, you see, people's complaint about your product is an added advantage to you, because it allows you to sit down to look at the source of complaint, the type of complaint, what can we do about this complaint so that we can move on. Every time somebody complains, it's an opportunity for you to move ahead, to move forward, a step further. Am I right? So, therefore, people who are strategic planner, they are interested in fact, people look for complaint. Some organizations are looking for complaints. At the end of the year, they go to their customers. That's what they say. They do market survey. Abi, what is it that is good about our product? What is it that is bad about our product? What do you think that we can do to, and they are getting those information free of charge. You tell them without charging them, without taking anything, and that single statement you made might be a great strategy for breakthrough for the organization. So, strategic planners look for problems. They look for complaint. Oh, when you tell them, what is it about this, our organization? They say, everything is fine. You are doing very well. Thank God. Let me tell you, they are not telling you the real thing. Yes, you may be doing well, but there can never be a perfect organization. So look for problems and think of solution to that problem. So invest in entrepreneurs, invest in market research. That's what we are saying. Make alliances, just as I said the other time. Defend against competition. Respond to customers' requests. So there will be competition, so you need to defend against competitors. You can copy competitors. When somebody is doing something good, you can copy. And that's why, because you are all in the world of competition. That's why I said the other time that as you are doing your business and you are making it, people are watching. They want to spy. You too try to spy what others are doing, that you can add to what you are doing to make it better. So, position as second best. Yes, you are doing well, but you want to be the best. That is what should be. And even when you are rated the best, that's the best business in this environment. Go to Challenge in Ibadan. Just ask for so supermarket. That is the best supermarket in that place. Let me tell you. In fact, it is that time that you need to be on your toes more. Am I right? Otherwise, people who want to pull you down, they are around the corner. And so you want to stay at the top. And that is when you need to think more and you need to. So, not to talk of schools or whatever business that will. Next, please. Next. So, diversification. That's what if you see industry B, industry A, B, C, you see they are along the same line, they are located in the same area, although industry A has the largest share of the market in that area, but they still desire to grow. You get my point? Can you see the arrow? So they encroach to the area of industry D and industry E. They are not satisfied by saying, we are the biggest. Can you see? Though they are the biggest industry, or organization in that area. Am I right? If you look at that, so industry B is the biggest. A is smaller, B is smaller, and they have the largest share of the market. But they are not satisfied. Try to encroach to the territory of others so that they can get more and more and more. So that's diversification. You want to get to new markets, new products, and so on. That's you are trying to diversify. Next. So now for 5 minutes, please, I want us to discuss. Looking at those 4 strategies: market penetration, market expansion, product development, and diversification. I want to see, do we do the same thing here? Okay. Don't let us do it. Okay, let's say this is group A. This is group B. Okay. Maybe those of us at that table can come closer. Group C. Oh, group D here. We can also turn the table. And look, so group D. Let group A talk about market penetration. Take a kind of business. This is the business we are discussing. How can this business penetrate the market the more? What can we do? Sir? No. This is A. So market expansion, that is B. Abi, this is B. Okay. Market expansion. So what can we do? As we can take one business and discuss it. How can we use market expansion strategy to grow that business? And C, that's product development. And D, diversification. Okay, our time starts now. Oh, okay, there are online. Okay. Oh. How many of them are in Lagos? There are about 4. There are about 30. Okay. They can also have 4 groups then. They can also have 4 groups. So, Okay, please, Lagos group also have 4 different small groups. Just for 10 minutes maximum. You want to discuss. So group A should discuss market penetration. Take one business to discuss market penetration. Group B should take one business to discuss market expansion. Group C should take one business also to discuss product development. And Group D should discuss diversification. Okay, your time starts now, please. Let us do it this way. Group A in Oshobo, Group B in Lagos, Group C in Oshobo, and Group D in Lagos. Short, just like 1-2 minutes summary. What business did you discuss? And method of market penetration that you have identified. So that's the way we are going to go about it. Group A, Oshobo. Group B, Lagos. Group C, Oshobo. Group D, Lagos. Will be presenting. If we have time at the end of the whole presentation, we'll take the rest briefly. So, Group A, Oshobo. Let's round up. Oh yeah, Group A, Oshobo. Who is presenting? Okay, you can stay there, yes.
Praise the Lord. Okay, in Group A, we talked about whether product or service, what we do needs to penetrate, it needs to get into the market. And for any product or service, we looked at sales or distribution. To get it into market, we look at 4 P's. One is presence, that is the presence of the product or the market, which is by creating awareness. We need to create awareness. You need to distribute your product. For instance, if it's soap, you need to distribute it to the market to create awareness and to make the presence known. And then the second P is placement, which talks about the location of your product or your service. Where is it located? Is it access? Does it have access to road? For instance, if it's a school, can people come in? Is it a drivable way? And then we looked at pricing. That's the third P to penetrate into market. Pricing. And then one of the things we talked about is that we shouldn't price ourselves out of market. You have to look competitively. What's the price saying outside? And then the last one, we talked about promotion. How do you promote your product or service to penetrate into market?
Please, what particular product
Yes, sir.
do you... because I want you to identify one and say, this is what the way we think we can penetrate.
Okay, selling soap, for instance, like I said, if you are selling soap, if that's your product, one, you need to create awareness. You go to the market, distribute the soap to people so that they can know it. They can know the soap exists. And then we look at placement. Where are you going to sell the soap? Which area? What's the location? Is it? Then you look at the need. Do people need that type of soap in that area, in that location? And then we look at pricing. How much are we going to sell this soap? How much do they sell soap in this market? Praise the Lord. And then promotion. How do we look at creating banners to make awareness. We look at beauty, the packaging of the soap. How is it going to look like to attract people? When it is there, then we are penetrating into the market.
Do we have somebody who wants to on that particular topic? Because when you talk of soap, for instance, the market is flooded already with soap. Am I right? And so you want to go into that same market now. You know, you need extra
Yes, sir.
effort.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
And you must get it right. It is not impossible. Am I right? The strategic planner knows that where there is will, there is a way. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
But you must be very, 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 very smart, dutiful, detailed about your plan. I thought you will first of all say, okay, we want to look at what are the weaknesses, what are the complaints about the popular soap that you have around there. You get my point?
Yes, sir.
You can understand it from that side. If you know some of the things, is it that it is too costly? It could be that. And you want to produce the same quality at a bit lower price. Don't forget that there are even giants already in the market.
Yes, sir.
Who, when they see that there is a competitor coming to the market, they don't care because they produce in mass. Am I right? They produce millions of tablets of soap in a week. And you are just starting. You want to produce thousands. They can afford to crash the price. You know what Coke did to Dr. Pepper? Eh? Sometimes ago, we used to hear about Dr. Pepper, soft drink, Afri-Cola, all this cola. Coke just crashed. It. All those companies die off. They just fizzle out. So, that is the starting point when you want to penetrate the market, especially if your product has a lot of competition. Then you need to think through. Are you following me? Okay. So, well, do we have anybody who wants to help them? Either in Lagos or in Oshobo. Somebody want to speak? Okay, we don't. Okay, Lagos Center. Group B. Lagos Center. Yes.
One of the things we have discussed here, market, you must get the market information. You must have the information about the market. The area that you are going, you should know the fees they are charging there. That area, you actually know the type of school they are running there. So that you'll be able to expand. You must have the market information. Not only that, if you have a school and people have been patronizing you, the good things that you are doing there that people know you with, you have to communicate it to a new place where you are starting a new school. This will help your expansion. Also, we also need to go digital because we know that these days people are moving from analog to digital. Now that is why when you want to actually want people to patronize you the more on the market, the product already selling. You must also look at the area of the social media to expand your market. Look at the areas of using WhatsApp, the area of using TikTok, and some other areas for your market to be expanded. From there, if you have all this information and you go on digital, you can go to a new area and start your business. And from there, I believe you should be able to expand.
Okay. Thank you, Group B from Lagos. They talk majorly about use of digital. Am I right? Try to move from analog to digital and get information of the market. Market expansion might include establishing a branch in another location. Are you following me? Establishing another branch in another location. For instance, if there is a potential market somewhere and you think where you have, for instance, if there is no room for expansion, I mean, locally where you are, you can decide to have a new location. But you must plan it very well, strategically, in such a way that you know that there is market there and you know the strategy to get the market and to maintain the market. So thank you, Lagos Group B, expansion or market expansion. So let's move to Group C on product development. From Oshobo, yes? Microphone? Okay.
Thank you, sir. On product development, we observe two aspects which wants to develop the school.
What is the product?
School.
Okay, it's also school.
School, yes.
Okay.
Then the second one is gadgets sales. So now for the schools, we have these ideas or steps to take after school hour. That's like a training we organize for students after they finish their school. The other one is adult class, like it's going to be in place to educate parents. Some parents perhaps are not educated, and we can just introduce them to this to educate parents. It may not really move fast at the beginning, but with time, those that need it will begin to request for it. Then we have this skill acquisition for students. We begin to see how we can give them better skills, perhaps digital skills. One of what we mentioned was coding for kids. So that's one. Then another one is some special languages. Is that what we call this? Phonetics. Then French. For that, we may need to bring in some professionals to be taking, students in this area. And we know parents can be very happy when they see that their children are speaking those languages to them at home. So that's one. Then about gadgets, that's we mentioned educating clients on products. So we have a product, and perhaps after they have gotten it from us, we can educate them about it, the function, and how it works. Then after service feedback, try to get feedback from our clients, and that's just the two things we mentioned under gadgets.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you have also done well. Let me also add this, just as something that we may not even think. Do you know that even providing after school service, when you recognize that some parents are the busy type, sometimes before they come and pick their children, it takes time. Just asking one or two teachers every day after school, you wait until the last parent come to pick the children. It can be a lot of encouragement. You get what I'm saying? So, whereas in some school, they will just leave and the children will just be playing there. Because, So, it doesn't happen like that again now. So, just simply doing that can be a lot of encouragement for the parents. So, these are part of products. You are offering products. You are not collecting extra money for that product, and yet you are stabilizing. That can move people indirectly into your school. So these are some little ways we can do extra things. That is giving some extra things. Sometimes you also collect extra money for the additional product. Once they see value in what you are offering, people will not mind to pay extra. So that is product development. Then Lagos diversification, Group D. Yes, Lagos. Lagos want to speak. Are they speaking? Diversification. We still have a lot. I will rush through it. Okay, if there, let's move on, please. Let's move on because of our time. So let's move on. Hello? Hello? Yeah, move on, please. These are 4 different ways of trying to grow our business. But now, how can we create effective growth? I'll mention just about 10 points that I'll quickly mention before I now tell you how to plan strategically about those points. Identify your value proposition. That is, what is it? What are you offering now? Why do customers come to you? What is your selling point right now? You must understand that and try to keep it. Identify your target audience. Who are your customers? Are they of different categories? Similar, or they have homogeneous characteristics? If they are, you must be able to understand this before we are able to reach out to them. Then understand your current revenue streams. You know the sources of revenue to that business. What else can I add to the same business? And that is why you will see schools, they are selling notebook, they are selling pen, customized, they are selling customized socks, they know that you cannot get it in the market. So you have to come to the school to buy it. So everything is customized. If it's just any notebook that the school sells, students will go out to buy their notebook elsewhere. So these are some strategies. So know the streams of income that you have, revenue, and then try to expand it. Yes? Move on. Hey, nobody there. Hello? Okay, look at competition. Know that you have competitors. Those who are in similar business with you, capturing the same market with you, and probably they are doing better than you. So we can learn from them, we can study them. They will have some secrets. So try to learn the secrets. Choose an area to grow your business. Choose a particular, you cannot grow your business in all. For instance, you cannot do market penetration at the same time market expansion. Are you following me? Choose one at a time. So otherwise, you will get, the thing will get complicated, because to penetrate the market, the strategy is different from expanding the market. You can see those strategies that we listed the other time. So conduct market research. So understand your market. Try to understand the parents. What, if you have a school, what is it that they like? Oh, your customers that they come to buy in your shop, what is it that they like? What is it that bring them? So understand, do research about your market. Yes, next one. Next. Please, somebody should be there. Set goals. Your goals must be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realizable, and time-bound. That is smart goals. You must set smart goals. This is where we want to be. Don't set an over-ambitious goal. Please, if you set an over-ambitious goal, you will just drive yourself crazy and you may not achieve it. If you have, for instance, you are just having one branch of your business today and you are proposing that in the next 5 years, I want to have 20 additional branches. That may sound good, but how achievable is that? To start a new branch, stabilize that branch, start another branch, stabilize it in the next 5 years, and you want 20 of that. That is not a smart objective. So, create a plan that is step by step of how to do it. What are we going to do in the first month, in the second month, in the third month, and so on. Invest in your employees. Your employees might not have the wherewithal. And they are the one that will come in contact with your customer. They are the one that will help you to implement your set objectives. Am I right? So where there is need to train them, you need to invest in your employee to be able to carry out what you want to do. It won't be out of place if after the term, the teachers will have to wait for 1 or 2 days extra just to learn something new that they will be using next term when they come in. So that's a strategy. So invest in your employees. Yes, next, determine requirements for growth. What are the things that we need for growth? Human resources, material resources, emotional resources, and all different kinds of resources. We must determine it. Yes? Move on, please. Move on. This is a complete strategic plan process. This is, can you please expand it? It's a complete strategic plan process. So, and there are 4 major steps in strategic planning. Determine your position. Where are we? So, where are we? We want to know that. And where do we want to be? That is, you are determining your position. In the next 5, usually strategic plan will take a 5-year span. A 5-year span. So, because it is different from development plan. Development plan can be take much longer years. The strategic plan will take like 5 years. And after the 5 years, you assess, then you develop another one to say, okay, we have been able to move from point A to B. So in the next 5 years, where do we want to be again? Then we move on and on like that. So determine your position. Develop strategy. You know your position, you know where you are going. Develop strategy. You see all those questions under each of the steps. Then build plan. Look at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are internal. Opportunities and threats are external to your organization. Am I communicating? Strengths, what are we doing well? Weaknesses, which areas are we not doing well? That's our weaknesses. Opportunities, look outside. What are the opportunities? Oh, this is a new area. More people are moving into this area, and our school is just in that location. How can we catch the market as people are moving in? That's an opportunity. Threat, we are not the only one here. There is another school around us here who is also trying to catch the same market as we do. So, what can we do? How can we minimize the influence of the threat? So, this is then we should manage performance. That is, there should be monitoring and evaluation every time, at every point, at every step. We should monitor. We said we want to increase the number of our students. That looks easy. That's why I'm citing that example. From 50 to 100 in the next 5 years. That 5 years, we have how many sections? We have 5 sections. Abi, this section, first section, how are we going to do it? Who will do what? What strategy are we using? Who will be responsible for what? At the end of each section, even before the end of the session, at the beginning of the session, you must be able to ask, Mr. Hay that we asked to go and re-erect a new banner, has he done it? You get my question. That's part of our strategy. Have we done the training that we're supposed to do? All those questions there must be monitoring and evaluation. So that is how to manage performance. So in every business that we do, these 4 steps are very important. These steps are: 1, I say, determine your position, develop strategy, build plan, manage performance. I want us to chorus those 4 steps. Determine your position, develop strategy, build plan, manage performance. These are the 4 key steps in strategic planning. Next, please. So, and in drawing our strategic plan, it's also important for us to do a PES2 analysis. We call it PES2 analysis. PES2 analysis is just an acronym. That is, look at the political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environment. So, we need to look at these core things that can affect. When we talk of political, there can be a policy from the government. You get what I'm trying to say? There may be a policy in existence which nobody cares to activate, and you know about it. What if a government comes and activates it? Will it not cause a destruction, total destruction to my business, while I'm still managing, I'm still trying to do it the way I can, and nobody talks? Abi? But if tomorrow one commissioner just wake up to say, yes, this policy must be implemented, what is going to happen? You get my point? So, we must look at all that. Economy in terms of finance, inflation around, what can we do? Sometimes you see the rate, okay, for those who own school, for instance, if you say that the rate of inflation will determine the school fees you are going to charge, what will happen? You will run out of business. Because if you say that, you say, but in the last 5 years, a bag of rice was 7,000. Now it's 30,000. You were paying 10,000 5 years ago. So you should pay 50,000 now. Parents will run away. So because there are a lot of competitions, even the public school that will say come free, they are there. Am I right? People are running away from public school because they bet when they are pushed to the wall, they will go back there. You will begin to hear, but we too, we went to public school now. That will not mean that children will not make it in life. Am I right? So, that's it. Then, consider the social, the cultural environment. What I want to do, will it be acceptable in the environment? Watch your environment. You are in a Muslim-dominated environment. If you are not careful about what you do, it will affect your business. Am I right? So, I just said that. You can't hear me? Okay, I'm saying that your business is located in a Muslim-dominated environment. And you want to introduce certain things. If you are only thinking for yourself, because you are a Christian, you are a pastor, and you are only thinking for yourself, you can run out of business. So, all those we must, technological. What are the innovations coming up? Be ahead of others in terms of technology in your business. Always look for, be interested, and bring in new technology. Always want to be ahead of others in that area. Then you can stay on top. legal, that is issues of law. Issues of law must be well considered. Environmental. Probably sometimes your business might be the type that will create pollution. Am I right? So, how will you manage that pollution in such a way that you will still be acceptable in that environment? Your community relations and how you treat the environment is very important if you want to stay in the business. Yeah, I want to round up now. Yes. If you look at this, it is just about the first table, giving us practical example. It seems it's tiny, and it's not okay. It's just an additional something. You know, what we are saying is that when you want to draw a strategic plan, identify your objectives. Objective 1, objective 2, objective 3. For instance, let me cite this example. You want to grow the population of your students. Please permit me. I'm using school example so much because there are many people who have schools here. Know that you want to grow the school from 50 to 100 or poultry farm. By the time you are growing it, know that there are some other consequences for the increase in number. Am I right? One, you will not have enough space. No enough classroom, no enough cage for your birds. You need more teachers. Abi, what again? More infrastructure. More workers. Cost of feeding will increase. Your salary, the salary you pay, will do what? Will increase. Those are the consequences of your. So, that's objective 1. Then, your objective 1 is that we want to increase the number. Then, the objective 2 should be you look at those consequences. We want to build more infrastructure. It could include building more toilets. The 2 rooms you have before is enough for the students. By the time they increase, you will need more toilet rooms. Am I right? So, the staff room you have before is enough. But by the time the school increase, you increase the students, you need more offices. You need more tables and chairs. You need more. So those should come along with your objectives. And now, if you take objective 1, how do we increase the number? Do we motivate the teachers? Do we do advert in the neighborhood? Do we do that? Okay, now, students are coming in. How do we expand our building? What do we emphasize that we'll be making? How are we going to save towards constructing additional classrooms, additional offices, all this must be strategically planned. And who will do it? Where are we going to get the resources? Who will do it? When are we going to achieve it? All this. Because if you are expecting that next session, there will be additional more 20 students, and you are working towards it, know that your success, by that success, you are creating another problem. That is, where are you going to put them? Who is going to teach them? And all this. So, that's what strategic plan is trying to look at. Please, next. Let's just scroll down. Next slide. Okay, practical example of how to draw. Maybe I will also ask that this slides can be given to the participants in addition to, because some of these things are not in the manual. And it will be nice for participants to be able to see for them. And I'll be available for further questions on this. And if there are people organization, businesses who are interested, I can provide practical support beyond the classroom. I am promising that. So we can sit down, we can look at it, and we can plan strategically for such businesses. Yes, next. This is monitoring and evaluation. This is operational plan. All these go along with strategic plan. Operational plan breaks your strategic plan into weekly activities. Weekly activities. Such that every week, if we say that at the end of 6 months, we must have had additional 5 students. Every week we are monitoring what we have been able to achieve. So, yes, I think that should be about the last. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, our brethren in Lagos, we want to start with you for this time. Do you have question? We only want to take it, maybe the next 10 minutes, so that we can keep the time. We are very...
Question?
Yes.
One time out again. One time out. Okay, give it.
Sorry, we are not hearing you.
What can we say about government policy over our business? Government policies that are about our own policies, business-wise. What can we say about them, sir?
Okay. Government policies that are contrary to the business policies that you have. Am I right?
Yes. There are some policies that affect our own business whenever there is a government or political somersault.
For instance, can you cite an example, please? Can you cite just one example so that we can relate practically to that?
Hold on. Taxation, sir. Impulsive taxation, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Well, I think that's part of what we are talking. Yes. That is what we talk about when I say you should do the pestle analysis. Political policies, there can be policies. For instance, I can see some schools during the lockdown, they changed to e-learning, and they were able to manage it, to cover up. As we are saying, we are in the same Nigeria. Some schools did not lose any calendar year. As we are talking, I know some schools that does not lose any calendar year. They are still able to meet up with all the requirements. The teaching, they did it. The exam, they did it. Everything, they did it. So, sometimes it does not mean that when we have strategically planned, that there cannot be things we do not envisage. Because we are not God. We cannot envisage everything and predict everything. But what we are saying is that a strategic planner, when you plan ahead, peradventure, there is a challenge. Unexpectedly, is there a way out? What is the buffer zone that I have? Try to create a buffer zone for yourself. And when it happens and it does not fall within the purview of your buffer zone, you can immediately look at what others are doing around. What is it that is happening around you? How can we also navigate around that? The issue of multiple taxation, of course, as a business organization, we have no option. Am I right? We have no option. We have to pay the tax. Okay. Yes, yes. Yes. That, well, that is an option. Well, we can form a union to be a pressure group on the government, but that can take some time. Some businesses could have even died before the government will yield, if they will yield at all. So, and that is why sometimes, just even as you are doing that, others are finding other means they can sustain their business. Aha. Some will not register and so on. But as much as we are not encouraging us to do illegal things. So you see, the other time I said, look at your streams of revenue. And there are some other things you can do that will not necessarily attract additional tax, but will be a kind of buffer for the organization. These are the things we can do. Okay, sir.
Yes, I have a question, but maybe I may comment since it is finance. I think we are having insensitive, discouraging, killing governments. I'm very sorry to say that. The more you want to do the right thing, the more you become victim. I can't imagine telling me it's a law that if you are a proprietor or sole proprietor, that every year your tax has to be increasing 10% or 20% without considering whether that organization is doing well or not. So that is a policy beyond us. And perhaps I've used my position to talk to their agents when they come, to let them know, and they themselves will tell you that they are just obedient servants. They know what you are saying. So I'm sure that it's a great problem for us, and it's really makes strategic planning somersaults in this part of the world. But again, we have to cope with it. We should not allow that to discourage us, by the grace of God. My question is on invest in your employees. Well, I want suggestions, or maybe we have to cross-fertilize ideas on that, if it is a general thing. The more you train these people, the more what I call mobility rates. So how do we solve that? If they themselves will not be against you tomorrow, like I had our brother Pastor Adeyemo talking about somebody, the wife of a pastor. No, even the members of the church whom he employ, if I'm right, they left and established another school, maybe very close to that school. He must have trained them. Like us, if you enter a school with NCE, by the time you spend some years, you must become a graduate. But as soon as you provide funds for them to go, you give them time to pursue all these things. They become a graduate. They will find their way. That is a problem. I don't know whether there is a solution to it. Then another problem we have, either you have said it, or he said it, or somebody said it about employee. Some are very, very conservative. They be counting on the number of years they have spent with you. But they are not pliable to change. Can you somebody you brought him up that, okay, tomorrow you are going to be the head of this place. But it's not changing to technology. It's not changing to this. And okay, the other younger ones, no, they know me. You can't be a teacher with us. You cannot type. You don't know computer. And you are not changing towards this. People still type your question for you. People still operate all this kind of a thing. You can't post your results on the internet yourself. You have to look for your junior ones. So how do we cope with this type of people when you say we should invest on them? Fine. But how do you cope with this problem?
Okay. Question from Lagos? I know.
No more questions in Lagos.
Okay.
Thanks for that great lecture, sir. Please, sir, I want to ask, when considering business growth and expansion, what are the things to sort out to be ticked? Okay, that you can say, okay, I've attained this, for you to consider that expansion, so that maybe when you are trying to expand, everything will not just crash out like that, you not affect the business. Like, what are the things that you need to tick? Like, okay, I've been able to attain this before I can say I want to expand more.
Well, hello. Hello. Do we have one more question from Lagos? I think I
No
had.
more questions. It's only contribution.
Okay, you can contribute. Now contribute, please. Yes. Any problem?
Okay.
We can't hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, we are hearing
Praise
now.
the Lord. Yes. My contribution on the issue of training staff, I want to suggest that the staff can also be part of the training. Let's say, for instance, they are to be trained for 50,000 naira. The management can choose 30,000 naira, while the staff will also have his contribution in it. That's one of the ways. Another thing is, there can be an agreement that you'll be trained and you have to work with us for this period of time. That's another way to go about it before the staff will be able to leave that organization. So that's my contribution to it. Okay, signing done. Okay, that's my contribution to it.
Hello. Okay. Well, let me just quickly round up. I think the contributor from Lagos have spoken.
When you are training people, giving them seminars, or you are trying to contribute to their life, their education, you also see that you are trying to contribute to society. We should also see in that area that you are also trying to improve the society, because that is one of the ministries God has already sent us.
Okay, thank you. I think those questions are very clear.
Continuous process. It's also a way of giving back to the society.
Yeah, you are speaking about CSR.
It's a way of giving back to the society. So we call it nation building as well.
Okay, please, let us round up now. Thank you. We want to round up. Well, those questions are very clear enough. Let me start from the last question from Oshobo here. That when will you know the time to expand? Am I right? There are some things. Number one is, have you been able to capture enough markets in your locality? If you want to move out. Sometimes it might not even mean that. Maybe you think even the locality is too stiff. You think that to expand, to penetrate the market more is becoming difficult in your locality. Then you can expand, do your market expansion. So then, two is that you must also assess the facility, your capability and facility and resources. You don't just go and expand. You don't just go and locate another shop somewhere or branch somewhere without having the necessary resources, even human and non-human resources to take off. Know that you must ask yourself a question. If it's a small business, this place where I am, how easy will it be for me to leave this place for the next 2 months, 3 months, to concentrate my effort in the new area, and yet things can still go on smoothly here? You get my point? Otherwise, while you are trying to build a new location, your own, let me call it headquarters, might have been scattered before you come back. So, you need to do critical assessment of all those things before you are able to move. So, I think I've answered in a brief way. We can talk more. Then, on the issue of investing in employees, well, as business owners, we will not have no option than to invest in our employees. If actually they are the one working for us, they are the one that will help us to achieve our goals. For instance, if the issue of school that I said, we are just thinking that let me bring in an innovation. Now I will install projector in all this classroom. We are going to beginning to teach our students using PowerPoint, even in primary school or secondary school. We are going to be using educative videos. When we talk of digestive system in biology, we will look for a video that will talk about digestive system, that will show them, they will see it. When the food enters the mouth, how it goes, and how it digests, to how it is, the feces comes out. That's an innovation. Am I right? But as the proprietor, you cannot do it alone. You will not teach biology, teach mathematics, teach English, organize everything. So you need to invest in your staff to be able to know how to do it. It all depends. If it's a soft skill that is easily transferable, teach one, you can invest in one person. And then, that is training of trainers. And the person will now come and domesticate it. All your staff cannot live at the same time. So, if you train one person outside, you bring that person in, you train all others, they acquire that skill. And as new person is coming in, it becomes one of the criteria to do. So you are transferring the skill. They are going, you cannot hold them. Then if it's a skill that is so expensive, you can ask them, you can have a bond so that they also know that this is a very valuable skill that is so expensive. Then they will have to sign a bond for a certain number of time so that you can enjoy their services. I think I've answered your question, sir. Partially. Our time is gone.